Okay, and this video is about the perspective of the three inner habitats. And these three inner habitats help us understand habits of thought at a very complete and comprehensive level so that you're able to understand why things are going well and why they're not. Okay, let's take a look. And remember, each singular habit of thought that we're interpreting to understand, to choose a better option, they all fit right here into the areas and places of life, right? And as we identify each singular habit, they start to fit together to form our self-esteem of the quality of our life. So here is a perspective into the three habitats. So you see there's the first inner habitat, that's your spirit, right? And what's interesting is your spirit is experiencing time and space, right? Now, pretty much it's inside your field of conscious energy, inside your brain, right? That's the second inner habitat, right? So you're the spirit inside your thoughts, inside the sparks of electricity inside your brain, right? And that field of conscious energy moving around in cause and effect cycles, right? Inside your body, which, by the way, is a mass of biological energy, very precisely, right? Precise. Precision is good when you're trying to understand, right? And so that's your third inner habitat, right? So you get the first is your spirit, that's you. Here's an interesting question. Does the spirit have a boundary of mass we will detect with an instrument in the future? Interesting question. By the way, science, as we develop our scientific knowledge of, time and space, of life here and about the universe, when we start going out there, right? Whenever we have an instrument to observe something, that's when our knowledge of it increases, right? So when we got a telescope to look out into the stars, that's when we start understanding, space out there, planets and stuff, right? And the same thing for the inner body, right? The inside the cells of our health, right? And other things, right? When we study the tiny parts of molecules and atoms, protons and neutrons going on inside of us and everything else, that's when our knowledge of that part of reality comes into existence and we have scientific facts about it, right? Well, so the question is, does the spirit have a boundary? Or, look at this, or does it emerge from the field of conscious energy with no boundaries within, the energy of the consciousness? Obviously, your spirit's not over here to the side of you a foot away. It's got to be inside the brain, right? So it's one of those. Interesting. No relevance on your happiness. Zero. But what is relevant is that your spirit is experiencing, what your field of consciousness is experiencing, is thinking as it moves around in cause and effect cycles. Now, a fun question. Does your spirit live on beyond the presence of consciousness? I hope so. I think so, but don't know for sure. Not interested in trying to find out anytime soon either. Now, here's a fun one. Is there a purpose to your spirit? Very powerful question to chew on. Don't know if it'll answer your happiness, but it might if you find a good answer that you can hang on to and use to get better, right? So, two fundamental questions, right? Experiencing, your spirit's experiencing your life, right? That's for sure. And are you realizing it? Well, that's another level of conscious ability that changes your spiritual experience or your spirit's experience of life, right? If the spirit, right? What we're just saying here is that the spirit, you're not the energy of your consciousness alone. You're the spirit in there experiencing it. An important distinction to make, okay? So now, watch how simple it gets, okay? Each single habit of thought, again, if it's a fleeting thought, it's not that relevant. Right? If you think it once on Tuesday and you never think it again for the rest of your life, who cares? I'm not going to think about that. Now, unless it's impacting all the other thoughts, I think, right? but then it would be part of those other thoughts that keep happening, right? So each habit of thought, you identify three fundamental things, simple things, right? Is the thought positive or negative? Number one, could be neutral. That's number one. Number two, is it functioning as a thought to make you happy? Or is it functioning to make you unhappy? Number two. Number three, does the thought, what is the purpose of the thought? And is there any emotion? It's kind of a two question, but it's connected, right? So, like, for example, if you look at this example here, this person, if we go to the negative one, right? If we look at this negative one, right? Where this person is having a negative conversation about why his or her body is this way or that. And it's a negative thought, right? That's what this says. Right? So the purpose of this thought is to explain why their body is negative. Get that? So look at the positive. The purpose of this one, yes, my body is improving. The purpose is to praise. You know, hey, it's good. And now notice this. I said the body is improving. So this person could actually be as physically in bad a shape as this person here, right? They could be the same weight, overweight, same inability to run around for a long time, right? Physical endurance, right? Exactly the same. Only difference is this person is choosing to get better by different habits of thought. Powerful distinction to make, all right? So let's go back over to the positive. I'd rather look at a happy face, all right? So these thoughts that are positive about their body, right? There's the three questions: polarity, functionality, and purpose or emotion. Right? Then there's a very powerful distinction to make. It's critical. And then we're going to be done with consciousness. The power of consciousness. We just asked three questions, and now we're going to ask two more, and we're done. We're done. All right, relative to your happiness. 5 questions. Powerful. And you can use your imagination to look at this, and it makes sense. You know, there's nothing more that you need to do than to figure this out and make it positive and make it functioning to make you happy, right? So look at this. Is your spirit aware and present while thinking this thought? Now, before and after it, that's not what we're doing. This is a perspective into a single thought, a single moment of time, right? Now, you can go forwards and backwards, but as you go forwards and backwards, all of these distinctions of the particular thought may change, right? So in this moment, it's positive because he or she says it's improving, right? And at this point, is he or she aware? Maybe they're just mindlessly, thinking a positive thought, and they're not aware. They're so much enjoying the positive thought. That's possible. Or they're aware. They go, hey, I'm thinking positive about my body. I'm happy. Because look at it, says, back to work, look at me go. So this thought is ending pretty soon, right? If this thought is functioning effectively, it's going to leave thinking about the body, and it's going to get back to doing the job. Powerful distinction, right? So the functionality of inner habitats, right? The next thing is really powerful. And when you want to realize your highest level of ability to create a life of wonderful abundance, fabulous abundance, like you don't have to be famous. You don't have to be a billionaire. You may want to be a millionaire, though. You certainly want to have financial security, right? But you don't have to be amazing in that way, rich or famous. You just have to be healthy and happy and living with positive, effective thoughts. That's powerful to get, right? So the next distinction is this specific thought aligned with the task? So when you want to have the highest level of experience, the highest level of ability in a single moment with a single thought, you want that thought to be my work right here, right? There's total focus. They're not thinking about tomorrow, their body, their relationship with this, the movie they watched last night. Alignment would mean that this thought is totally focused in the moment of what they're doing at work. Powerful distinction to get. Now, what's important is when we go down to the biology and we make another important distinction, all right? Very important. Now, first of all, the behavior is interpreted, is measured by the same 3 principles Is the behavior positive or negative? Is the behavior functioning to make you healthy? And does the behavior have any emotion or purpose to it, right? You don't have purpose there, but it's there, right? But the next very important distinction, and it's another distinction to make that's necessary for you to understand that moment of time in your life. And that is the activity, how much of your thought ability is used in that moment, right? Like if you're mowing your lawn and you're not on a steep incline, you're not using all of your intelligence probably, right? Certainly, doing the dishes, right? Or maybe sweeping the floor or driving a car slowly on a street with no traffic, right? Compared to driving a car on a highway in heavy rain and traffic. Whoa, right? All of a sudden, the percentage of your thought ability ramps up, right? So this distinction is important because you're looking at your weekly schedule, your weekly habits of thought that happen here, right? And you're identifying each one and you're seeing the connection and how they're connected to each other. And are they positive or negative and making you happy? So then you go, well, hey, when I'm at work, Monday through Friday, between the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock hour, I do something and it only takes about a third of my mental ability, right? That's a distinction to make, right? Because that means about 2/3 of your mental ability is open and available to do something else. Now, if you're not observing your thought, right, your thoughts could go negative, right? You could be observing them and still not believe you could change them, and they're negative. You go, oh, woe is me. My thoughts are negative about myself, right? But that person doesn't understand that they could choose to practice a positive thought to program that different content into the cells of their brain and thus change their reality, right? So as you use a HIT, ability and have improvement technology, and you start interpreting the singular habits, the one that fills your day, the important ones, right? Again, if it's a small thought that you don't think very much and you think about it, you go, that's not impacting me very much. Don't worry about it and make a little note of it and then go on to a thought that's relevant. What do you think about your body? What do you think about your ability? What do you think about your ability to communicate with people? What do you think about your ability to make money? Those are important questions, very important. And they're fundamental to your happiness, right? And that's the one that you go out and you find those habits of thought, all of them that are about those areas of your life, right? And then you interpret them. When they're negative, when they have you functioning with an ability that's below the potential of your brain and your body, right? Because our brains are amazing, right? You don't know that. They're amazing. They have a lot of ability that most people aren't using yet, right? Maybe this technology will change that, right? But so if you're having those thoughts and they're low and you're not observing your thoughts, you don't have an option, right? But this technology is going to bring it to your attention. Like, yo, check out these thoughts, right? They're important, right? So, and the habits of your week, the percentage of your ability is relevant, right? And you start seeing a full picture of your weekly schedule, your work week and your weekend, right? And you'll build a level of higher levels of habits of ability through using this perspective into your very essence of being human, right? Now, down here, the power and grace of ability, this is very important. And now, of course, on another design, this power and grace of ability enlarges to have more information in it. Like these have the 3 boxes. The power and grace of ability are going to have more boxes too on a different design, right? And that's coming up when you land here, right? This is, you put the conscious dashboard here. See, this is the negative versus the positive on a single event in their life. Here's the areas and places. Now, here are the cycles of ability that you fundamentally use in all the moments of your life. Then you have the elements of ability that determine your ability in that moment, right? If you have low strength, you're probably not going to be that effective, right? If your skill is low, you may not do as well as you could if you buffed up your skill, right? Maybe you don't have much knowledge about what's happening. And maybe there's information that's very relevant, but maybe it's subtle, kind of hard to find, right? And yet, so you don't have knowledge of it, and you kind of struggle because you're doing the best, but your knowledge is lacking, right? So in wisdom, of course, wisdom is so powerful. If you have the ability to choose well 24/7, get ready. Abundance is coming, okay? So this ability elements relative to the high performance video of an animation of somebody engaged in the activity that you're engaged in right here. You're thinking about a self-talk habit you have at work, and here's a video of somebody else at work doing your work. We're going to make it look like you too. And you can see what happens when you get your thoughts focused and they're positive, and you flip the negative to positive. And then you're going to see what happens when the person's alignment turns to a yes, and the ability is important. Let's say there's some difficult tasks. Maybe the percentage of your ability goes up to 70, 80, 90%, right? It's important, right? And let's say it's important. Let's say it's you're a mother or a father. How about that? How about all you people that love people, okay? How about our children? Right? How about if our ability to be a parent is low? Our strength is low, our knowledge is low, skills low. We don't know how to be kind and patient, strong. Our strength of patience is weak, So we express frustration to them. Because, hey, we struggle during our day. How's that one fitting with you? Let me tell you, on a personal note, you're going to get ready for some regret. It's coming. It's coming. Now, if you choose to realize the importance of being a good mom or dad, and you study parenting skills, and you practice them in your prayer sessions in the morning, at night, and after lunch, preferably, and all day long in mantras, right? Using cycles of ability. Guess what? Your ability to parent your children is going to skyrocket. And you will be making our world a much better place in the future. This is what it has for you. Hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching.